I'm David Goodman from Crash Gardening. Today we're going to talk about some really cool hoes. These are from easydigging.com. I've got three here. This first one, this is called a grub hoe. And this is a tried and tested tool the world over. This is for moving a lot of earth. This is for hacking through hard ground. The handle on these suckers is awesome. And the heads of them are actually made out of forged steel. And they're not made in China. So take that for what it's worth. This hoe here is an adze hoe, or a triangular hoe. This is also really good for chopping ground, but not for quite the high impact of the grub hoe. This one is excellent for slicing and chopping and tearing through roots and ground that you're breaking, but it's also really good for just going along and making yourself furrows for seed planting. It's excellent. I find myself using this one quite a bit. This third hoe here, this is called a grape hoe. This is apparently a design that was originally used in vineyards, and it's got a broader head. This also cuts through weeds very nicely, and it's got a little bit of more of a tilt to the blade, so it comes back towards you, so you're able to clean up the ground rapidly and go over a large space if you had some tougher weeds than what a little scuffle hoe might manage. So let's chop at the ground and see how these three work. Alright, let's start with the grub hoe, the long end on that thing. This is for serious earth moving. It's got a really heavy head, so it allows you to actually dig with it. I've used this thing to plant transplants and even to dig ponds and shape edges. This is serious. Here in Florida, sand, it moves a lot of earth really rapidly. But if you were further north, like where I used to live in Tennessee, where there's a lot of clay and rock, you would have to work a lot harder at doing this. But still, this would be the tool you would want. It's very thick, it's very strong, and it moves a lot of earth and does some serious damage. You can basically till the ground with this thing like you would with a rototiller. Excellent tool. This next hoe is called the adze, or the triangular hoe. This one is really fast. It goes into the ground rapidly and allows you to tear at the ground because the end of it meets almost no resistance thanks to the point. It's also strong enough to handle beating up the ground quickly, and I actually like this one more in my sandy soil for breaking up garden beds. If I was going to break straight hard sod, I'd probably use the grub hoe, but this one here is excellent, and it also allows you to mark out furrows and move the ground gently. And I think it also has a little bit more control if you were going to go around the edge of a plant than a great big square pointed type. So this is also a very good tool, and it's really fast. It goes right into the ground like a knife. Finally, this is the grape hoe, and this one is more for scraping the surface and tearing out weeds rapidly, which you can see it does quite well. It has enough surface area that you can go down a row really quickly and clean the soil off, take everything off the surface. Now here in Florida where we have soft sand, it's also pretty good for digging, though the angle doesn't lend itself quite as well to that as the grub hoe does. But grape hoe is really cool. You can just clear the surface of the soil really quickly, prepare yourself a new ground to plant on, and be done in a lot less time than it would take you to fire up the tiller. So these are well-made tools that will last generations. They've been used around the world for hundreds of years. They are what you want if you end up off-grid, or if the apocalypse takes place, or if the gasoline supplies get cut off and your tiller doesn't work. You can tear up a big garden with these with just a little bit of hard work. Excellent tools and worth having on your homestead, particularly if you're survival minded. I'm David Goodman. This is Crash Gardening.